August 2014. I was going to my martial arts class with my mom and my little brother. The class is in Terrytown, and we don't live there, so we usually have to commute. I usually take the car with me, and we go. Yeah, so it was me, my mom, and my little brother, and we were going towards the class. And he was changing. He was changing into his martial arts uniform in the car.
As soon as I finished changing, I was about to sleep, and then the crash woke me up.
Like, what was the first thing you were thinking about?
If we would survive, because I thought it would be really bad, because that was my first time in a car crash.
So yeah, we were going down Broadway, entering Sleepy Hollow. I wasn't going fast or anything. It was just the speed limit, and passing by the streets, Calbourne, Millard, North Highland Avenue. Then I started reaching Palmer Avenue. The thing was that those streets, they're kind of designed in a way that highway exits are, except in a much smaller sense, where you could only go in the street by one direction and leave the street by a different direction. And a car pops out of nowhere, and the lady, she was going the wrong direction. She was basically exiting from the entrance. The outcome of that is you can't really see the car coming out of the street, because that street isn't designed that way to be seen, because that path is only for cars entering the street, not coming out. Yeah, so she pops out, and I see her, and I saw the impact coming. I hit the brakes. I turned the steering wheel, and even then, I knew that we were gonna hit the car. So my second instinct was remembering that my brother was changing, and then thinking, if he's changing, that means he doesn't have a seatbelt on, and he usually likes to prefer the middle seat. I turn around and put my hand out and push him back to his seat, and just before the accident happened, and then we hit. Turns out he already had his seatbelt on, like he put it on seconds before the accident actually happened.
Por un segundo yo pensé que tú ibas a hacer alguna jugada y íbamos a librarnos, pero no fue. Creo que ni gritamos porque fue tan rápido. Era muy triste, era muy feo, asustamos muy feo. El Kevin estaba muy triste, asustado. Pero fue en segundos. Salimos del carro, estaba todo humeando, apagado sí, pero humeaba bastante.
I am glad that I turned the wheel, because if I didn't, I would have probably hit her driver's side door. I turned the wheel just enough for it to not hit the door, but rather just hit the front wheel. The impact flew my car towards the opposite lane. I was thinking, since we're on the wrong side of the road, we're probably gonna get hit again. There was nothing I could do. The car was done. The car wouldn't move. I had no control over it at this point, because it was the front was done. So I just waited for the impact of the next hit, but luckily it never happened. The opposite side saw what happened, so they stopped right before anything else could go down. And my first guess is to make sure everyone was okay, because I felt fine. Like, I didn't feel anything, no pain, no injury, no nothing. Like, I didn't hit my head, nothing happened. So I made sure. I asked my mom if she was okay. I asked my little brother if he was okay. My mom was in tears and really, really shooken up, and my brother was just in shock. He didn't believe what actually happened. He couldn't grasp the severity of it. I made sure they were okay, and they were. It was just a mess. We get out of the car, and then the lady also gets out of her car, and she asks us if we're okay. This was my first real accident, and I didn't even think at the time. I was just so shooken up and shocked and not angry, but more, how? And then I was yelling, what did you do? What did you do? What, like, how? Why? What? And she kept asking, but are you okay? And thinking back to it, I should have probably been more calm and asked her if she was okay too. But I guess there was too much adrenaline, and I was too shooken up to even realize what I was saying. Thankfully, she was okay too, and so was my family. And so I called my dad, and I was still shooken up. My voice was breaking. It was very shooken. And I call him and I tell him what happened, and
When you call me, when I received the phone call, it was myself and Yesenia in the house. When you talked, I was so scary, kind of shaky, nervous. The two boys on the phone, and I was thinking, I said, oh my God, this is gonna be bad. And I just told Yesenia, let's go. We gotta go see them because they had an accident. We just ran out. We didn't even know about the house, if it was locked or not.
I asked him what happened, and he said that you hit another car, that you weren't speeding, but he thinks you were speeding. I remember we were like coming towards close to where you crashed. I know we talked. I don't remember what. I just remember that your voice was like all shaky. I just remember that once we got there, I saw a cop car. That's how I know we were close. I didn't see like your damage yet. I saw the other person's car, and like all the bits and pieces were like everywhere, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell happened? And then me and Daddy get out of the truck. I'm pretty sure you, Mommy, and Kevin were like all crying, or Mommy was crying, so it was Kevin, I think. And then we come up to you guys. I was just like looking at the other car, like the other car was done.
the police also came, ambulance came, the tow trucks came to pick up the cars, and my dad was there. He was asking the same questions, if everyone was okay, if what happened, and yeah. So while we were filing the paperwork, my dad noticed that there was a cut on me, like I was bleeding. I looked down on my wrist, and it turns out that it was. I had so much adrenaline that I didn't even realize I got hurt.
Después del accidente, yo no quería ir al hospital porque claro que estabas sangrando un poco en tu mano, pero no era tanto. Pero papi decía, no, es peligroso, puede ser que esté roto algún hueso de la mano. Y sentías mucho dolor y entonces por eso nos fuimos al hospital de emergencia. Pero en ese momento no sentías el dolor. Pero después ya cuando llegó papi, ya cuando todo pasó, ya la cura ya le llevó. Entonces papi decía, mejor para estar seguros que no esté roto algún hueso, vale ir a sacar un radio X.
I just tell you and Mom, you can go, and I take care of the rest.
So we get to the hospital, and we're waiting to be attended, and even if we are in the emergency room, and just like they're attending us pretty quickly, and they said I gotta get an x-ray on my arm to see if anything was broken or bruised or anything. And the nurse that was attending to the x-ray, she used the x-ray machine and started doing that. They put me in a room and treated me for my injuries, and to me personally it was a complete waste of time because all they gave me was like an ointment and some gauze, and they just wrapped up my arm, and eventually the cut healed up to the point where I could barely see it. Like if you really focus on it, you'll notice it, but it was just cuts. It wasn't bruises. No bones were broken. I'm at least happy no one got hurt. Well, no one. Yeah, like even if like I did get hurt technically, like I'm happy that it was me rather than anyone else, because like the pain I didn't feel. I was completely fine for it, and